Hey folks, how's it going? Once again, I'm Ned from Tech, but otherwise known as your friendly neighborhood basement dweller. Don't worry, ma'am, I am from the internet. Today we're checking out Popular Mechanics, January 1984. Build your own plane, no thank you. Something I find super interesting is down here. Look what your phone can do. Look at all of the giblets, doohickeys, and fun stuff that they need to do that stuff. Wow, I tell you what, Bobby. I know some cowboys, but I've never seen a cowboy look as good as the one on the left. I mean, there's no way that that guy's been rustling cattle and looks that clean, that's for sure. Over here, we can see some of the scanners, Oh, I thought this was a speeding thing. No, this is a radio scanner so you can hear fire and police. I like the size of those. That's an interesting form factor. And that's right, Mom can snoop in on the police, and Dad can listen to what's going on at the fire department while they're on the road. Gotta say, my mom likes to sit out in front and nose around every time a police officer passes by. She makes notes of it and makes sure to tell me about it. Cash back on Black& and Decker tools. These days, no one's too excited about Black& and Decker. I mean, yeah, it's there, yeah, it works, but you definitely wouldn't be trading in your Makita for it, right? Here we can see Dennis the Menace is upgraded to a really trippin' slingshot, my guys. Yeah, good job. The line is drawn. The line in the sand is drawn with the new Civics. That's an interesting way to carry your skis around. I don't think people go skiing so much anymore, and if they do, they generally don't have their own skis. So we used to have Ski Minto Glen around where I was, but the insurance on it got too frickin' much, so they had to close the place down. The big 1 cent steel deal, y'all remember these things. They still do stuff like this, like Audible. I got signed up for it when I thought that I was just getting a prime deal. Nope. Nissan trucks. Keep on trucking. Whenever I see this guy, I think of WWF's The Undertaker. You know his manager? Paul Bearer, that's it. I keep thinking of Paul Bearer whenever I see this guy. Wouldn't you like to have a new skill you could call your own? Yes, I would, but I don't want any of those skills to be working directly with the customer. I really need to improve my people skills before I could do something like that. Introducing the 550 Plymouth Reliance for 1984. Match it if you can. Hey, reliable American car, that's what I'm talking about. Desk lamps, magnifying lamps. Oh man, seriously, there's so many times when just having one of these lights has saved my butt. You can tell we're getting into the 80s because on the right hand side, Grandpa has personal protective equipment. Once again, Robocop's light gun. I must get one of those. I'll find one. They're all shiny and purty. Chevrolet, we're taking charge. The joy of cooking. And here we have a wonderful Navy shot. So I know a guy who went into the Navy because he wanted to repair radios. He only ever got on one boat and he never fixed a radio. Winston, because men will do the craziest thing to avoid their wives and therapy. Getting into some fusion, slothing around the electrons. Oh, is that a large Hadron Collider? Or a small one, I should say. Be your own boss with small engine repair. You don't see that anymore. I remember as a kid there was several people in different villages that could do that, but not so much anymore. Now, I'm sure some people are getting tired of me saying it, but there's simply so much to the technology of keeping yourself warm. Um, these days, you just flick a switch and you got everything you need, but there was a time when keeping a fire going was really complicated. America's truck. Once again, I have a deep seated love for American trucks. They just seem to be frickin' reliable and lovely. I swear we seem to have simply gotten away from woodwork these days. Everyone's working more with plastics, which is something. Sander tackles tough spots. Man, I would love to play with one of those sanders. That looks like such a fun time. Oh, I love these black pages. Hard to find science buys now on sale. Battery chargers. I have seen that exact battery charger 1,000 times at secondhand stores. Own your own push button phone. Wow, that was a big deal once upon a time, especially a cordless. Amazing scopes let you see the birds. What else we got here? Calculators. Everyone needs lovely calculators. Oh my goodness. Wood grain, old school, push telephone, clock radio. I want it so bad. Hey, it's the Andre the Giant mobile. I love these things. Every time I see these things, I think of Andre used to take these around to drive around, especially when he was on movie sets. Man, I tell you, being a kid is thinking Hulk Hogan is the best and kind of growing up and realizing reality. You realize that, Rowdy Piper, Andre the Giant, there was a lot to be said about those guys too. In fact, I think Andre had more of a more of an honest, loving spirit than Hogan. Oh yeah, check it out, check it out, check it out. Build your air cushioned Pegasus. Oh, compared to Pegasus, now I really want one. Yeah, they even show you how to make it. All that you need is some wood. And on the PC side, we have some old school video gaming. Tin can video. Two tanks, an infantry under attack. Wow, that is super basic. I had no idea Briggs and Stratton made four-cycle engines. Legit. Oh, check this out. Generator? Oh, that was a generator. I want one of those generators, especially if it's diesel. Those old school ones, you could burn damn near anything out of them. I know a guy that has a generator. He literally burns used vegetable oil after he filters it. That's it. Popular Mechanics will give you the settings, the setup, the blueprints for damn near anything. And we need more of this stuff these days. These days, they try to keep this information from us. The information was free. Keep it so. That is so interesting. It will give you information in Morse code. I just hope you know Morse code, buddy. Oh, hell yeah. We got some beautiful retro futurism here. Oh, wow. If you're sitting on a beach and seen something like that coming, you know you're doomed. So I'm Canadian, and when I was in the factory, I used to love talking to soldiers, old soldiers, and one time they told me you knew the Americans were coming. You had a buddy say, "Hey, come on over here, take a look." And they went over to the beach and they just watched the Americans come in, and she said he was shocked and awe about how suddenly, and how quickly they hit the beach and just deployed like crazy. I'm not always a fan of what gets done to keep the rich rich in America, but when it comes to the hardworking individuals, including the individuals within the military, I got a lot of respect for them. It doesn't mean I respect what happens, but overall, I know a lot of soldiers, and I got a lot of respect for a lot of them. Not all of them. I know some that didn't really do anything. They never went across the pond or anything. They were given a whole bunch of never seen time, and they were given a whole lot of ability to do things like work with the police. And man, guys trained for frontline infantry and guys who were in frontline infantry were kicking down doors in like Iraq or stuff, or even trained for it. Maybe these guys shouldn't be doing domestics in the U.S. I'm sure I'm wrong about some of that, but man, I would love to be in one of these. So Dennis the Menace grew older and only more powerful. And I knew an old guy who could. How old was he? He was like 80 and he hated crows. He'd have a crow sitting about 6 or 7 stories up in a giant fir tree, and he would pick that thing off no problem with just a standard slingshot. You'd see him sitting at the bottom of it. You get a slingshot at your caw, then and you hear that marble flying through the tree, hitting every branch or hitting every leaf on the way, and oh, the poor crows. So I love the way all of these things look, but my grandfather used to work in a hospital and he told me a few stories about what dashboards like this would do to you in an accident, and I think it kind of broke me for the beauty, but just topically, it is beautiful. Look at all of this stuff that you would need to make a video phone call in the 80s. So you have your phone for your audio. Then what else do we got? The Robo 450C, a color slow scan TV unit. The Duophone. Oh, you don't need all that stuff. They're just featuring different things. Okay. I hear these things didn't work very well. And even when they were in the lab, you had a very difficult time getting them going. But still, we're not here to talk about how reliable this stuff is. We're here to talk about, hey, it was available shortly, I think. Beautiful Whammons talking to beautiful Whammons. Probably about the main character. The push phones were a pretty big deal. I mean, geez, what was it, 85 that the push button phones were a thing, getting away from rotary? I had a rotary in my parents' house up until I moved out. Kind of fun. Holy ferg, that would suck having to use helicopters to put out an oil rig. That's at some point you must think, let's just let it burn. After we get the men off, of course. Don't even get me started on, yeah, we're not going to talk about burns. I always felt like it'd be kind of silly waiting behind a car to fill up your tank. Oh, wait, that's not what he's doing. I thought he was filling up his tank right. What's going on here? I'm confused. Oh, maybe if I'd learned to read. Electric horses. Geez, that would be a lot of weight taking all of those batteries in there. It's got me wondering, what's the battery compartment in a jet like? I've only seen one of these houses. They're pretty cool. Apparently, it's really hard to have a library in there because libraries don't work, books don't work too well in a roundhouse. Now, I'm curious about fireplaces like this. Was it originally an open fireplace and then they put one of these cast iron stoves in there and then put porcelain up around it? Picking the best lumber. I don't know. I just kind of have the desire to cut this out and put it up on the wall. I love the informational stuff. Aim high with the Air Force, watch anime, and enjoy only the best air conditioning that Army HVAC people would probably have to install. Learn how to use a computer. These little computers were surprisingly powerful for the price. They were cheaper than a portable TV and had basic versions of BASIC on it. Making music electronically. Wait a second, that one at the top, does that have a receipt paper going on in it? My goodness, it does. To record wavelengths? What? This seemed to be the kind of thing, it was surprising and not a lot of people liked it. Yeah, one of the guys in Rush was really good with this, and then one of the other guys in Rush was like, if you're going to use that damn thing, I'm out of the band, so they had to stop using it. Build your own big projection screen TV, now only $29.99. I would love to watch a YouTube video of someone making that. I would love to hang out with someone as they made that. I'd help. I'd hold his beer. I'd probably drink some too. And we'll finish off with Mr. Camel's going on an adventure to get away from his wife to find a place to smoke a cigarette. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for me. Nev from Nev's Tech, but thanks for joining me on this. Love reading these old popular mechanics. Love seeing how society's changed, how technology's changed, and what's going on. Have a good one, folks. Take care of each other, will you?